Steve! Steve the Cat! What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Steve the Cat, coming to you live from this carpet on a lovely Tuesday morning here in my owner's house. And it's time to take a look at the next round of news from the Dungeons & Dragons Summit. But I figured you needed something to look at while my owner went through all this nonsense. So here's me! Alright, this is round 3 from the summit. This was called the morning sessions. It looks like it took about half an hour. First up, we had Amy Dillon from marketing for D&D Beyond, who had an interactive chat with some other digital attendees. While the in-person attendees were seeing the VTT, they weren't allowed to ask questions until afterward. It was a pre-presented format chat. Attendees began to ask about the technical requirements of the VTT, but Amy didn't have any information. We know it exists. Well, we know on paper it exists, but as to what it is actually going to be, Went on to ask, of course, about the D&D Beyond extra language support, because, remember, Wizards of the Coast, inclusive, Wizards of the Coast failing to present product in any other language other than English. Well, there have been conversations about making D&D Beyond in other languages, but as at this point in time, we don't know. I mean, I know we said we were all about inclusion and diversity and supporting multiple individuals of all race, creed, pride, social, religion, sexuality, blah, 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 blah. Just not on D&D Beyond. Will publishing on DM's Guild be continued with 1D&D? As far as Amy knows, nothing's planned. Will there be a D&D Beyond presentation later in the morning? After all the other presentations and the VTT overview, we're going to do another presentation about D&D Beyond. We might even roll out Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins. Okay, that's not what she said, obviously, but I'm a cat, so, I'm just saying cat stuff. Look at me. I'm cute. I'm Steve. I'm a cat. Keep reading, owner. They were asked if they were going to get review copy lists, as what they're saying doesn't seem to track from what they've printed, and they didn't get any responses to emails they sent to Wizards of the Coast about copies. Amy told them they will get the correct email later. So anything, the review stuff that you asked for, we'll send it to you later. Why would somebody ask this? Oh, because remember, Wizards of the Coast said you can come and you can record and document this thing if you want to. But when they arrived, they were told, no, you cannot record this. Amy was asked if they viewed the content creators as hostile, like when those who interviewed Kyle Brinks. Amy says she was not aware of any such feelings or policy, but decisions on who they talk to are based on a broad range of factors. Criticism of Wizards of the Coast is welcome. Were any of those YouTubers who criticized you invited? Like, I don't know, the OGGM, Dungeons and Diversity, Jeannie D. Oh, they weren't? Then Amy was asked, was there different ways that certain people were treated or viewed, like content creators and third-party publishers, and how was it decided who would be invited physically and who would be invited digitally, and how does Wizards of the Coast perceive them? Amy says there was no formal division between the Drew crews, but Wizards of the Coast wanted to mix some people from both influencers and publishers. How many publishers were invited, Amy? Oh, I can't tell you that. What about the influencers? I can't tell you that. What about the influencers who weren't invited? I can't tell you that. Amy then wanted to know why so few publishers were invited in the first place, and then people started to argue with her. So she closed things up and said, moving on to the VTT overview and then what we have planned for tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the rule options, the rule updates, and then we're going to wrap things up with a mixer. Now help yourself to the free muffins. So yeah, that's round 2 or round 3. I guess maybe that was actually held before the D&D Beyond meeting, and I'm just now getting the breakdown of it now, or it was a filler in between the D&D Beyond meeting and the VTT meeting, where they just sort of had a Q&A with Amy, and Amy wasn't really able to say anything. At this point, I'm being told that the fan base got a little rowdy, that people were starting to go, hey, wait a minute, how about, in fact, if you look at Instructaboy's link down below, review of the occurrence, apparently he was there, the people began to push back against the bullshit that was being spouted by the various members of the Wizards of the Coast staff. I will note again that nobody in Wizards of the Coast is an actual employee. Everybody is an executive vice president, or a producer of, or director of, or digital content creator of. Nobody is Janet in accounting. Nobody is Erwin in the mailroom. Nobody at Wizards of the Coast is the guy who cleans the fish tank. They all are vice presidents and digital directors. What the does that even mean? Does any of you actually have a job? If I put a inventory program in front of any of you, would you know how to work it? Do you even know how to answer multi-line phones? Because none of you are just a secretary. Anyways, we'll have more information as things become available to us, but so far it doesn't look good. Meanwhile, I'm Steve the Cat, broadcasting live from the OGGM's carpet. You want to feed me and get me more toys? Maybe, support the OGGM because you could really use the money. Till next time, meow.